Welcome to our special series in the world of mythology. Today we are counting down the top 10 most powerful gods and goddesses spanning myriad ancient cultures. Keep in mind, the concept of power varies widely across different cultures. Our list is an interpretation derived from ancient texts and cultural influences, so let's dive right in. Starting our list at number 10, we journey to the ancient Mesoamerican lands, home to the mystic Aztec god Quetzalcoatl. Known as the feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl held a unique position in Aztec mythology. More than a powerful warrior, he is cherished as the god of creation, holding dominion over the wind, the morning star, and the bearer of knowledge. Among an array of deities celebrated for their strength and ferocity, Quetzalcoatl's power lies in wisdom and benevolent deeds. His significant contributions, like introducing the calendar, the concept of books, and the cultivation of maize, stand as the bedrock of Aztec civilization. However, while his wisdom and contribution to society are notable, it is the story of his departure that places him at number 10. After an intense battle with the rival god Tezcatlipoca, Quetzalcoatl, deceived, went into exile. Whether out of shame or defeat, his departure indicates that he wasn't all-powerful. Moving on to number 9, we remain in the realm of Aztec mythology with Tlaloc, the god of rain, fertility, and water. Deified and revered by the Aztecs, Tlaloc's influence stretched beyond the normal, becoming a patron of the agricultural cycle and the elemental forces of life. Regarded as the giver of life and sustenance, Tlaloc's position among the Aztec pantheon was pivotal. His benevolence brought about bountiful harvests, and his wrath, the onslaught of deadly droughts and dramatic floods. His significant influence on the elements displays his robust hold over nature's forces. Although his power conducted the profound forces of nature, Tlaloc's domain was essentially a double-edged sword, making him a complex figure in Aztec mythology. His impact could either bring about prosperity or cause devastating destruction. The duality of his influence, however, adds a hint of unpredictability and volatility in his character. While Tlaloc's governance over crucial elements of life validates his power, the catastrophic consequences of his rage demonstrate a limitation, a lack of control over his emotive responses. Hence, for his benefaction and devastation, Tlaloc reserves the number 9 spot on our list. As we continue our journey through the annals of mythology, we shift our sights to the ancient Near East, immersing ourselves in Sumerian, Babylonian lore. And so, at number 8 on our list, we encounter Anu, the sky god, often considered the supreme ruler of the gods. Regarded as the father of the gods and the king of the heavens, Anu held the ultimate power in the cosmos according to the early stages of Sumerian mythology. His authority and supremacy echoed in the various divine councils and judgment assemblies. However, as with all civilizations, deities evolve, stories shift through generations, and power gets transferred. As the Sumerian and Babylonian civilizations progressed, Anu's active role in the myths and narratives lessened. It's almost as if he retired from the pantheon, his cosmic duties transferred to younger gods, whilst he retained his honorific status. Yet despite his powers fading over time, Anu's impact in the initial years of Sumerian civilization remains significant, and his initial position as the supreme sky god cannot be overlooked. For this reason, Anu secures the number 8 spot on our list. Now, we retreat from the Near East and through the sands of time to land in the ancient civilization of Egypt for our number 7. Here, the falcon-headed deity Horus reigns as one of the oldest and most significant deities in ancient Egyptian mythology. Regarded as the god of the sky, Horus is usually depicted as a falcon, or a man with a falcon's head. The pharaohs were considered the mortal embodiment of Horus, linking the role of the kings with the deity. His eyes represented the sun and the moon, cosmic forces that rule time. However, the significant part of Horus's narrative is his epic conflict for the throne of Egypt with his uncle Set. After an intense struggle, which is said to have lasted for about 80 years, Horus emerged victorious. This victory showcased Horus's strength and power, but also proved that his authority wasn't unchallenged. So for his dominion over vast cosmic forces and his unique position as the divine representation of the pharaohs, Horus takes the 7th spot in our enumeration. For our number 6, we turn to the sun-gilded lands of ancient Greece and meet a god who gifted humanity with multiple skills. Apollo. Renowned for his strength, wisdom, archery, and the arts, he held dominion over many aspects of life and civilization. Apollo, the son of Zeus and Leto, and the twin brother of Artemis, is one of the most important and complex of the Olympian deities. He is the god of music, truth and prophecy, healing, the sun and light, plague, poetry, and more. His power as an influential god among the Olympians is undisputed. Being the patron god of Delphi, Apollo was a prophetic deity who gifted the oracle of Delphi with her powers of prophecy. He also had the power to bring about disease and sudden death with his arrows, yet in contrast, he was the god who could also provide a cure for illnesses. However, despite his vast influence on key facets of life in ancient Greek culture, Apollo couldn't exert control over all elements and had his fair share of limit. His attempts to woo the nymph Daphne and his struggles with other gods like Hermes give us a glimpse of his limitations. Thus, for his influential role yet evident limitations, Apollo takes the 6th spot on our list. As we journey forward in our ranking, we find ourselves in the underworld for our number 5. In Greek mythology, this is the dominion of Hades, the god of the underworld and the dead. But don't be quick to equate him with evil. His role was more complex and nuanced. As one of the 3 sons of the Titans Cronus and Rhea, Hades, along with his brothers Zeus and Poseidon, defeated their father's generation of gods and took control of the cosmos. Hades was then assigned the mysterious world beneath the earth. While the underworld is often associated with danger and despair, it was an essential aspect of the cosmological balance. Hades ruled over this shadowy realm, becoming the master of the riches beneath the earth and presiding over the cycle of death and rebirth. He was both feared and respected. Yet Hades' power wasn't absolute. The god had to share his dominion with other deities, like Persephone, and he seldom left his kingdom or participated in the affairs of the living. For his significant but circumscribed position, Hades holds the 5th spot on our list. Crossing the boundaries of civilization and culture, our countdown continues at number 4. Here we meet a prominent figure from Norse mythology, the goddess Freya. Freya, the goddess of love, beauty, war, and death, holds a complex and influential role in the Norse pantheon. She was the leader of the Valkyries, chooser of half those who die in battle for her afterlife field Folkvanger. Her myth portrays her as both a fierce warrior and a compassionate goddess. Freya was not just influential in matters of love and war, but also, quite uniquely, she was associated with magic and divination. Freya was the first to teach the gods about Seidr, a form of Norse magic used for various purposes like foretelling the future. However, despite her many powers and wide sphere of influence, she wasn't revered as the most powerful among Norse deities. Her magic was powerful, but often came with a high personal cost. For this reason, while she certainly earns a high place, Freya takes the 4th spot on our list. Continuing our journey through mythology, we find ourselves again amidst the enchanting ancient civilization of Egypt for our number 3 spot. Here in the Egyptian pantheon, we find Ra, the sun god, and often considered the creator of all life. Ra was among the most important and worshipped gods in ancient Egypt. His significance is demonstrated in the ubiquity of solar symbolism in the artifacts of the civilization. Every morning, he was believed to sail across the sky in a boat representing the sun, renewing the world with light and life. However, every night, as told in ancient Egyptian myths, Ra embarked on a journey through the underworld, where he battled forces of chaos to bring about the dawn of a new day. His daily struggle with the destructive snake Apophis symbolizes his constant fight against the destructive forces seeking to annihilate creation. While Ra was a prominent figure in Egyptian mythology, his appeasement and protection from his enemies showcase his non-omnipotence. For his pivotal role in creation and daily battle against destruction, Ra secures the number 3 spot on our list. As we near the top of our countdown at number 2, we meet one of the most iconic and complex figures in Norse mythology, Odin, also known as the All-Father. The chief of the Norse gods, Odin's dominion was vast. He was the god of war, but also the god of poetry and wisdom. He was the embodiment of paradoxes, the All-Father who reigns over Valhalla, the god of war, and yet also the god of wisdom and poetry. In his quest for wisdom, Odin made great personal sacrifices. In one well-known tale, he gave up his eye in exchange for a drink from the well of wisdom. which granted him all the knowledge in the world. In another, he is said to have hung from the world tree Yggdrasil for 9 days and nights. Yet, even with all his wisdom and warrior strength, Odin could not alter the prophecy of Ragnarok, the Norse end of the world, where he and many of the gods would fall. His power had bounds, and his wisdom revealed his destined end. With his rich, complex narratives and substantial influence on the Norse pantheon, Odin secures the number 2 spot on our countdown. Finally, we've arrived at the pinnacle of our list. The clouds part, lightning flashes, and we behold the ruler of Mount Olympus, the king of the Greek gods, Zeus. Zeus, often portrayed with a thunderbolt in hand, held dominion over the sky and the weather. His display of might, both in the natural world and in the realm of the gods, underscores his power in Greek mythology. Beyond wielding lightning and thunder, Zeus was also the enforcer of justice and order, making his role pivotal among the gods and humans. His judgments were final, his will absolute. However, like the sky during a thunderstorm, Zeus's character was clouded with human-like flaws. His numerous affairs and conflicts with other gods depict a deity that, despite his omnipotence, struggled with matters of the heart and the complexities of family. Nonetheless, Zeus reigned supreme over the cosmos in Greek mythology. Despite the chaos, conflict, and calamity, he managed to hold his position and keep cosmic order. And thus Zeus, for his authority and wielding of natural forces, encapsulates our countdown, claiming the number 1 spot as the most powerful god in ancient mythology. Before we wrap up this divine series, there's one last thing to do. Let's command the power of our number 1 god, Zeus, and use a little bit of that thunderbolt energy to transform that red subscribe button into a clicked grey one. Here at our channel, we're all about diving into the realm of ancient mysteries, captivating stories, and fascinating characters. We promise you, it's more thrilling than wrestling a minotaur, requires less effort than a 12 labors challenge, and definitely a safer bet than opening Pandora's box. If you have any suggestion for a video about a god, myth, or legend, then leave us a comment. Also, let us know what your most powerful ancient god is. Thanks for joining us on this roller coaster ride through myth and legend. Until our next mythological saga, goodbye and stay curious.